Okay, so today we're going deep on something a little bit different.
Oh,
A
yeah,
little bit unusual.
definitely.
This My Skill for Money script
Yeah.
that we're looking at this week,
Mm.
it's really got us thinking here.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a platform for getting paid
Okay.
to cuddle.
Interesting.
And I don't know about you, but for me, it's just such an interesting
Yeah.
sort of juxtaposition. Cuddling,
Mm.
something we usually associate with
Right.
intimacy and connection,
Yeah.
is being presented as like a service.
Yeah.
Like something very transactional.
Absolutely.
What about you? What were your first reactions when you saw this?
I mean, it is intriguing, isn't it? It feels almost like a social experiment in a way.
Right.
But I think that on the surface,
Yeah.
it seems so transactional, like you said.
Yeah.
But when you really kind of look deeper,
Mm-hmm.
you realize that it's really tapping into this like really fundamental human need
Mm.
for physical touch and connection.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. And that's where things get really fascinating.
Yeah.
Um, you know, let's consider the motivations
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
both sides of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who would actually sign up for something like this?
Right.
On the cuddler side,
Yeah.
the people who are providing the service,
Yes.
is it just about like
Yeah.
making a little extra cash on the side?
Sure.
Or are there sort of deeper reasons,
Yeah.
maybe
Like what could be going on there?
could it be a way for people who are
I don't know.
naturally inclined toward like caregiving
Mm-hmm.
to find some fulfillment?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it could also be appealing to maybe people who find traditional social interactions
Right.
a little bit challenging
Yeah.
and they're more comfortable with this kind of like non-judgmental,
Yeah.
platonic
Yeah.
form of touch and connection.
Right.
And then, of course, there's always the financial
Yeah.
need
Oh, well,
for some people that
Please.
could be a driving factor.
Yeah, and then there's the other side of the equation, right?
Yes,
The
definitely.
people who are actually seeking out these services.
Mhm.
What would lead someone to seek out paid cuddling?
Well, loneliness is a huge issue
Yeah.
in our modern world.
Absolutely.
And maybe this platform could be a way to kind of combat that. Think
Yeah.
about, people who might be
Mhm.
going through a tough time, maybe a breakup or a loss,
Right.
or just lacking physical affection in their lives.
Yeah.
For them, this could be a way to fulfill that basic human need
Uh-huh.
in a safe
Yeah,
and controlled environment.
totally. Yeah. I mean, it really does kind of
It does.
challenge our preconceived notions
Yeah,
about relationships and intimacy.
it does.
Because we're so used to these
Yeah.
things kind of
Yeah.
happening naturally. Organically.
Organically.
Yes.
But this script really forces us to consider a world where
Yeah.
even those deeply personal experiences
Uh-huh.
can be, commodified.
Precisely. And I think it raises questions about
Yeah.
how human connection is evolving
Mm-hmm.
in our digital age. Like,
Right.
are we moving towards this future where
Yeah.
even intimacy can just be ordered online?
Like we order food.
Right, like we order food or an Uber.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fascinating.
There really is.
I mean, even just their tagline,
Yeah.
turn your cozy nights into a source of income.
Right.
It's like they've taken a page straight out of the,
Totally.
gig economy playbook and
The gig economy. Yeah.
applied it to something so personal.
Yeah. It makes you wonder about the unintended consequences of
Mm.
something like this.
Yeah.
Like if this platform were to really take off and
Mm.
become mainstream, how would that really impact our understanding of intimacy?
Right.
Would it further blur the lines
Exactly.
between personal connection
Right.
and commerce?
Yeah. It's a really interesting question.
It is.
So we've gone from, what seemed like
I know, right?
a
Yeah.
relatively lighthearted concept
Totally.
to some pretty profound questions
Deep stuff.
about, loneliness and connection and
Yeah.
and the commodification of human experiences.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me how
Right.
one script
Right.
can open up such a complex and thought-provoking discussion.
It's a fascinating reflection of the shifts that are happening in our society.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
So much to think about.
definitely.
Really makes you wonder
Yeah.
if this My Skill for Money platform were to actually launch,
Yeah.
what kind of impact would it have on
Right.
our relationships
Yeah.
and on society as a whole?
Big questions.
Definitely something to ponder.
For sure.
Maybe while enjoying a non-monetized cuddle with someone you care about.
There you go.
All right, thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
Anytime.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.